What's going on, guys? Secret here. Today is a very exciting day. Today we have finally got the patch notes for 1.1.5 of 2xKO. If you guys are here to see a specific character or just the core gameplay changes, then I'll have timestamps below so you can skip around and find what changes that you care about the most. Be sure to leave a like and leave a comment about the changes that you are most excited for. Let's get into the video. So I've been looking forward to this patch for a very long time. If you've seen my reaction to Akali, I have been more than excited for Akali. So yeah, I just really want to get into these patch notes and see what changes are coming specifically to Caitlyn, maybe a few buffs. I personally think that she's really strong at the moment, that she's just undiscovered, but buffs are always nice anyway. So let's just get straight into this. So 2xKO patch notes 1.1.5 with Akali there looking as cool as ever. So it's looking like obviously we're getting our new champion in Akali. Blitzcrank Caitlyn Jinx buffs. That scares me. I'm already terrified of Blitzcrank. Yes, I know he needs buffs, but I'm terrified of Blitzcrank. Caitlyn buffs, very happy to see. Jinx is probably Caitlyn's worst matchup. So the fact that Jinx is getting a buff scares me a lot. Nerfs, obviously all expected. From Ahri, Vi, Ekko, and Braum. Kind of expected these nerfs coming in. And adjustments for Illaoi and Warwick. So now I'm really curious about the adjustments for Illaoi and Warwick. I'm assuming it's just going to be like buff nerfs, rather than like character rework changes. So we'll see how that goes. And then we have new cosmetics, Spirit Blossom Mega Bundle. So for Teemo, Yasuo, Ahri, I really liked this Spirit Blossom Ahri in League, but I already have all of Ahri's current 2xKO skins, so I don't know if I'll be getting this one. It looks cool from the little bit that I can see here. I don't really care too much for Yasuo or Teemo, so probably passing over this bundle. However, I will not be skipping out on this bundle simply for this one Akali skin, the Blood Moon Mega Bundle. This looks so cool. We already got the graphics back on Twitter for these skins in the past, and I'm just so excited. After seeing these skins, it just made me so excited. And then Run It Back Mega Bundles. Yeah, it looks from like the picture that it's just going to be all the other bundles. Community events, so that's more support for locals. Local duos, I've been waiting for this for a long time now. It's been really frustrating not being able to go play duos with my family on the same console, like having to go to a different console. That's been really frustrating. Champion recruitment event, and that's for Akali, where you can get her for free after you earn a certain amount of experience or do a certain amount of tasks. And then we have Spirit Blossom event. This looks like it's changing the lobby, which looks really cool. As always, the game will be down starting from 9 a.m. PT when the patch drops April 7th, which is tomorrow. You can always check the status of the patch here or the 2xKO client. Online matchmaking will become available once maintenance is complete. In the meantime, you can still play in offline mode. We will, at least last time when Caitlyn was launched, we will be able to play Akali on the offline version as soon as the patch drops. So at 9 a.m. PT, we will be able to play Akali in offline so we can get the labbing in beforehand. So new content, Champion Akali. And this is the Akali Beginner's Guide. I'm sure you guys have already seen this. Akali can be purchased immediately with 1000 KO points or 1 champion token, or the Ultra Battle Pass bundle. You can also unlock her for free through Champion Recruitment event, which lasts for 3 weeks, which is really important for the free-to-play players. After 3 weeks have passed, Akali will become purchasable for 10,000 credits, which is also really good for newer players who come later in the game. If you want to get a sense of how a new champion plays before you unlock them, all champions are available in training and offline mode, even if they haven't been purchased, which is really, really cool for us being able to lab, everyone being able to lab day one to see how much they like Akali. And then we have a local duo video. This one was also on the YouTube and the Twitter. New event, Spirit Blossom. I'm actually excited for this. So let me watch this video right here. Oh shoot, this lobby looks sick. That looks like an Ahri emote. Yo, this lobby looks super cool. Super cool looking lobby. Okay, I'm kind of excited for that change of a lobby scenery. I hope the confetti changes when you do the parkour and stuff as well. Got Spirit Blossom avatar outfit 6 items, which is really cool. The emote, sticker, player title, in full bloom, and best bud. I like that. Replay options. Replays are getting an upgrade. When you are viewing a match replay, you can now pause and open a menu of viewing options. Use it to enable hitbox, hurtbox, and collision display, frame data bar, input history, and more. Oh my gosh. I was not expecting this. I've been talking about this for so long, about how certain interactions will happen while I'll try to wake up parry, the button just doesn't come out, or I'll try an input and it just doesn't come out, and I just really want to see my input history on my replays. This is really, really cool. I was not expecting this to happen. I'm very pleasantly surprised. Very pleasantly surprised. In-game rewards. This is for going to your local events or online events, I believe. All right, system changes is where we get into the meat of things. Our main system changes this patch will smooth off the edges on bugs that affect our core system mechanics. It will continue to clean up Happy Birthday consistency and see how those changes land with each patch. For gameplay, Handshake Tag now has 3 frames of recovery when an assist does not make contact with an opponent. Wow. This is going to make Handshake Tag parry a lot worse, which was really, really strong. It's still going to be strong because 3 frames is not the longest recovery, but you're not getting hit with instant options off of Handshake Tag whiffing like in neutral. In neutral, Handshake Tag will be slightly worse option, while on block and on hit situations are unchanged. Yep. On offense, early Handshake Tag will beat parry. To beat parry will be successfully less attractive. Yes. Also, the math now works in favor for the defender if the assist does not make contact. So champions with 7-frame jabs never lose the mathematical frame war after tag. Thank goodness. The amount of times that I go to mash, my opponent tags, and I'm mashing at the assist, and the assist beats me even though my button came out first is insane. You can no longer perform parry after a handshake. Whoa! You can no longer perform parry after handshake tag for 15 frames, so it's just gone. Wow. Wow. Handshake tag into parry was a powerful strategy that made an impact on all high-level matches, even if it wasn't always visible. To combat this, we're adding 15 frames until you can parry after handshake tag. 15 frames is short enough to block a jab and decide to parry, but also long enough that handshake tag parry isn't a really good idea. Limit strike now builds 20 meter, decreased from 40 meter. Meter, not burst gauge, meter. Okay, so you're getting less meter gain in general for the game. Interesting. Limit strike was building too much meter for how easily it was to access for some champions. We expect limit strike to still be a choice when you make it in a combo, while removing the ability to loop metered super combos in some situations. Who does this really affect the most? I'm assuming characters like Ekko still, because he wants to use install. It's characters like Ahri, because she uses meter in her combos and gets limit strike very often. All around, I think this is a good change. We'll have to see how this works out. I don't know if it'll be that. I mean, it's reduced by half. You're getting half as much meter gain as you were before, so we'll see how that works out. Nerf the amount of super meter gained from performing long combos and performing certain actions. Long combos now generate less meter than before. This shouldn't be felt by most players, only those who are using long combos. Oh my gosh, there's meter gain nerfs all around. Retreating guard meter gain nerfed. Parry projectile meter gain almost completely gutted. Parry physical meter gain. You gained meter on parry? I didn't know that. Combo length penalty, old values was 8 seconds. Okay, so just meter nerfs all around. Wow. Huh. I like that. I think I like that a lot. Meter break now accumulates faster while in combos. Old values. Whew. 9-second combos now get 6 times meter break? Wow. Or break meter. Wow. We're increasing break meter to gain to tip the scales even more towards resets and less towards long combos. I don't think giving somebody burst on a full combo is going to be avoidable anymore. I genuinely think that just a simple combo might just straight up be giving people half of their burst gauge. So I genuinely think that paying attention to how much burst you're giving an opponent is really not going to matter as much anymore, which is really interesting, because most of the time you really do just want that damage, and mix up for whatever combo you're going into. Ending your combo short just so that they don't get break meter, it almost doesn't seem worth it if you can get the kill on the character anymore, because they're going to be getting break meter anyway. Like with Caitlyn combos are really, really long. So this feels like a nerf to Caitlyn because they'll just be building break meter like through the roof. So anyone with longer combos, you know, they're taking a hit here. Rules on when you can break have been updated. You can't break when getting hit by a super. Yeah, that's how it was before. You can't break during a super startup. That was there before as well. You can break when being hit by an attack that is not a super. Was that not always already like that? This generally buffs Jinx, as opponents can no longer break out of her supers and ultimates. It also adds additional counterplay during tag plus super in double down. For people bursting out of Jinx super and ultimate, I don't know. I guess I didn't try to burst Jinx supers or ultimates. I didn't know that was a thing. Input adjustments. Rolls are no longer performed by holding down forward or down back. Rolls are now performed by holding a direction away from the opponent or up and away from the opponent. Okay, so they removed the down aspect from it. So now it's hold up forward or hold back to get your rolls, and now just holding down back will give you regular tech. I think that's kind of nice. I've seen a lot of newer players get very confused about how they're rolling backwards in the corner, then they're getting grabbed and they're like, oh, I was just trying to down block. So I think that's a really nice change, just quality of life. I think that's really nice. You can now perform supers while holding an attack button, holding light, then pressing M. I don't know if I like that change. I feel like that's going to constantly get me to accidentally super. Why would we want that? why would we want that? I don't know if I like that change. Break will no longer be performed when you return to neutral after performing a directional special. Thank goodness. The amount of times I would round start accidentally break when doing special plus assist was really frustrating. Bug fixes. Fix the bug where your opponent did not have throw protection after being hit with eject in Juggernaut. I swear they've done this change so many times and it was still in the game. So we'll see if that actually worked this time. Fixed a bug where performing a knockdown in specific situations triggered limit strike bonus. Like Illaoi and other characters would just get limit strike off of hitting a knockdown, especially on kill. Fix a bug where it was possible to pseudo unblockable opponents with handshake tag. Oh, there's a lot of bugs. Fix an issue where using save states in training modes would occasionally cause a crash plus team input. Thank goodness. Like, the amount of times that I would use save state and the game would crash was so frustrating. Fix an issue where bots would not correctly perform the set reversal options while in the air. Thank you. I've been needing this so badly, man. Both a roll and a reversal option are selected in training mode. The bot will now properly roll, then do the reversal instead of just roll. Thank gosh. Thank goodness. Oh my gosh. I've been needing this so badly, man. All right. Here's the meat of it. Champion adjustments. Of course, Akali. She's new and she's perfect. Oh my gosh, I love the 2xKO dev team, man. I love them so much. All right, we're just gonna go down the line just in order to see what they've changed. For Ahri, no major changes to Ahri, but we're pulling back some power from Wild Flares, standing S2. Really strong button. This move was generating quite a bit of meter, and interacting with it after push block was difficult due to its deceptive range. You would push block this button, just clicking S2, you'd push block it, and it would still hit you and your assist at its max range. We've also reduced the overall length of S2 slightly through hit stop and block stop to get into action even faster. Okay. Nerfs. Standing S2, hit stop and block stop have been reduced. Wildflares took quite some time, so we've shaved off 5 frames off this move to make blocking and using feel better. Okay, we gotta try that on the training mode to see how that feels. Wild Flares. Hitbox size and launch distance on second hit has been reduced. Wild Flares have a deceptively large range and relatively low recovery. Reducing the range to make sure interacting with it post push block is a little bit easier. Again, we're gonna have to get into some matches to see how that feels. Meter gain on final hit has been decreased from 10 to 6. So on top of the fact that the move gains less meter, limit strike gives less meter, and long combos give less meter, So overall, Ahri is going to be just gaining less meter, means less supers for the team. So I want to see how that changes her specifically, that maybe there's just going to be more instances where Ahri's not getting her longer combos because she just doesn't have meter for it. That's interesting to see. All right, bug fixes. Fix the bugs were where wild flares was cancelable into stalking dart as a programmable input. So it was a bug. I was abusing the heck out of this with Ahri Caitlyn, where I would set up a situation that looked very minus for me, but then wild darts came out, or stalking dart came out and kept me safe. So no more doing that, but it's fine. I'm dropping Ahri for Akali anyway. Forward and back spirit rush are now properly cancelable into supers. Okay. Fix the bug where mid-air forward spirit rush had excessive pushback when used at a specific range. Okay. Fix the bug where Ahri would move unnaturally if performing a handshake tag at specific timing when forward tag was blocked. Yes, I understand that one. Yeah, when you would tag into her and she would move kind of funny in the air. Okay, so overall, not the biggest nerf. I think the meter change nerfs are the biggest nerfs to Ahri in general. And standing S2 on block is not as good against push block, but that's about it. The move is still ridiculously strong, especially going into S1 super afterwards. We'll see how that lands Ahri. I have a feeling she's still going to be extremely strong. So Blitzcrank is continuing to get buffs via hurt box adjustments on their rocket grab and rocket punch suites. I was already getting a rocket punch full screen and full comboed for it. Please don't make it stronger. We saw a positive impact with the previous hurtbox adjustments, and we're expecting those tune-ups to do this. These tune-ups to do the same. Down heavy has now an additional hitbox at the shoulder, and down heavy now has an additional hitbox on the fist. Down heavy will more consistently combo airborne opponents, and the hitbox better matches the animation. Anyone else feel like they were getting hit by this excessively already? Just me? Air purifier, which is down S2. That's the air. That is the rocket grab that points into the sky. Air purifier and air purifier assist are now disjointed. So the air version is disjointed now. That's actually really strong. Landing these moves in neutral is difficult, so we granted a reward to a player that predicts the opponent correctly. That's really strong. But he's not going to be getting hit out of that from the air anymore. That's really cool. Rocket punch, her box has been adjusted now and is now immune to projectiles. Oh, it was already immune to projectiles, right? Rocket punch would occasionally lose to projectiles and be hit by physical attacks at unexpected moments. Rocket punch will now behave more consistently as an anti-projectile poke. Okay, that's fine. And back assist now has 4 additional active frames. Wow. Okay, I kind of like that for him. Adjustments, rocket grab, which was the mid-air, the mid-air rocket grab. Rocket grab assist, hurt boxes have been adjusted. The hurt box adjustment on these moves is substantially less than the one on air purifier. Okay, these moves should behave similarly to their current behavior, with more consistent hurt boxes for both Blitzcrank and opponents. Okay. These bug fixes are for other champions, but they affect Blitzcrank. When Vi ends a combo with deadly blows against Braum and Blitzcrank, she'll now perform a knockdown consistent with the rest of the cast. Probably because they were taller. Jinx's Super Mega Death Rocket Monkey Cannon ultimate now breaks armor. Interesting. You can armor through it. That's kind of funny. Braum, the big boy. Not too much here for Braum. We're removing some power from Braum's stand behind me and stand behind me assist to make fighting the big guy a little easier. Braum was prevalent for like 3 weeks before they nerfed him. Braum is now easier to jump over as he performs these moves. Stand behind me's assist collision and stand behind me's assist smaller collision pill make it easier to interact with. Also, now that handshake tag is -3 across the board, we expect that the power of stand behind me assist will be significantly lower. Okay. Nerfs. Collision is now shorter and thinner when performing forward assist, or sorry, back assist. I'm always, what's it called? Used to playing player 2 side. Braum's collision is now shorter when performing. Stand behind me. Okay. S1 super startup invulnerability has been removed. Glacial fissure. It had invulnerability on startup. No wonder. I thought I could hit him out of it this entire time and that I was just whiffing. That's crazy. All right. Fix a bug where the opponent would very rarely be stuck in a floating state after being hit by battered ram. Okay. Braum will now probably lose Unbreakable when he's K'd out, but does not touch the ground. Okay, when Vi ends a combo with the blows. Okay, we already saw these. For Caitlyn, this is the one I've been excited for. I wonder how they're going to change my character. Okay. Caitlyn is undergoing some significant consistency improvements to improve her overall quality of life. I love to hear that. Comboing as Caitlyn and converting off stray hits will be more reliable, particularly with 2H. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. And her sniper assist, which is just her forward assist. Caitlyn felt particularly stuck in the mud when performing normals, so we've improved her run momentum on attacks, so she can now poke more effectively and chase rolls adequately. She's still not an expert at this, but it will feel more in line with the rest of our champions. Thank goodness, bro. All right. 2M knockback distance on grounded. 2M knockback distance on grounded hit has been reduced. Interesting. 2H now sends opponents backwards when hitting cross up. Thank you, because the way that you would hit 2H jump and you'd be going in the opposite direction was very frustrating. Launcher will now send opponents opposite of Caitlyn if they're on the other side. Converting into mid-air down heavy will be more consistent on hit. Thank you. Back heavy second hitbox has been adjusted. It is now bigger but does not hit as low. But does not hit as low. I don't know if I like that. I do like that it's bigger. But sometimes it'd be behind me and on the floor and I would kick them and they would be pretty low and they would get hit for it. And that made me really happy. So now that it kind of doesn't do that, I'm a little scared. I wonder if it'll still work. Maybe it just doesn't. I don't know how much they adjusted it, so we'll see. All right. We'll connect more consistently if the first hit connects, okay? Bola S2 now has 10 more frames hit stun on counter hit and launches grounded opponents less high. The fact that you could hit Bola and they were on the floor and then you'd run up and press standing medium or standing heavy and it just completely went under them was very, very frustrating. So yeah, medium now connects with Bola when Bola hits a grounded opponent, and converting off Bola on counter hit will be much more consistent. Thank you. You hit Bola into charge shot probably now. I'd hope so. Enforcer Hex Shield, this is her Aegis Reflector. Now pushes grounded opponents less on hit. It did push them back a lot, and it was like not much Caitlyn can get off of it. Add an additional hitbox to Ace in the Hole ultimate that catches opponents performing a low attack close to Caitlyn. It won't be going over their heads anymore, thank gosh. Okay, these are the quality of life buffs I've been wanting, thank goodness. Performing S1 against a grounded opponent or using Bola capture will no longer disable back H from comboing into the second on the second hit. Okay, I didn't know it did that. Interesting. Buffs and normals. Mid-air medium hitbox has been lowered. Now combos are more consistent on airborne opponents, and Caitlyn's jump in is slightly better. Heavy aerial hit stun has been increased from 23 to 25. Will now combo into forward S2 on standing heavy, not air heavy. Okay, aerial hit stun has been increased from 23 to 25. Will now consistently combo into tactical dive on airborne opponents. So if you wanted to do like light medium like light medium heavy forward S2 for whatever reason to do the stomp on them, that's interesting. I don't see when I would ever do that. Unless it changes the properties of the charged heavy as well, and it gives 2 more frames for that. I think that's nice, but that only depends on if it actually changes the charged heavy properties or not. Buff assist. Ooh, I'm excited. Okay, aerial sniper shot assist and skyward shot assist. Shots now always cause the same reaction on the opponent, well, whether grounded or airborne. Is it a good reaction or a bad reaction? Is it okay? Aerial sniper assist and skyward shot assist no longer have infinite hit stun on airborne assists. Darn it. Aerial sniper assist. Aerial sniper, that's the one that's where she jumps in the air. Okay, that's her forward assist. Shot hit stun has been increased by 17 frames. So having different reactions on hit stun or aerial ground opponents was appropriate for Caitlyn's point champion behavior, but was too mentally taxing and inconsistent as an assist. Yeah. Previously, whether you could combo an assist changed dramatically if the assist was airborne or grounded. Behavior is now consistent. Okay. I wonder if this changes some combo routing. And whether or not she can go into her more optimal tag launcher options if her assist is used in the combo or not. We'll have to see when we get into the patch. Since we're removing the infinite hit stun on aerial sniper assists against airborne opponents, we're giving the bullets more hit stun as compensation. In neutral, they will convert just as well and have similar uses and combos. Okay, while performing the forward assist, Caitlyn now jumps less high. Handshake tagging to Caitlyn after performing the aerial assist will now have less lag than before. Aerial assist generally hits closer to Caitlyn. Okay, so it doesn't go as far, so it's going to change some timings for certain assists, but she'll be, once you tag into her, she'll have more frame advantage. I like that. Buffs. More buffs. Okay. Oh, I see nerfs. I'm scared now. Heavy now pushes blocking opponents less far. I kind of like that it pushed them far. She is a zoner after all, no? Forward roll now passes through on frame 11 instead of frame 12. Caitlyn had difficulty passing through larger champions. Yes, I had that problem so many times. So improving her pass-through capabilities to help get through some big bodies. We're also reducing the push block on heavy. So heavy into roll can now pass through when spaced correctly. Oh my goodness. Wow, wait, they're actually buffing the roll. Huh. Caitlyn can cancel rifle shot, which is S1, into reload shot when opponent parries the bullet. Oh my gosh, we're consistently getting 2 shots off no matter if you parry it or not. That feels beautiful. That feels beautiful. I love it. Dash momentum improved when canceling into a run or canceling a run into actions. Okay. Caitlyn can now press buttons more effectively in neutral. In addition, Caitlyn can now chase rolls with grab at the appropriate timing. Love to see it. Nerfs. Scary, scary, scary. I never like nerfs. Caitlyn can no longer mid-air trap into Trick's shot S1 when tagged out. Okay. So you're not programming trap into shot anymore. It's okay. I kind of liked that sometimes. It wasn't an all the time thing, but honestly, just throwing trap without the shot can sometimes be even better. Now instead you just have to do a regular bullet. You know, it's a bit more predictable. So yeah, tiny nerf. I don't think it's going to be all that consequential to the character though. And bug fixes. I already knew this character was so buggy. Fix a visual bug with Caitlyn's mid-air light recovery animation. Okay. Caitlyn can no longer decides to roll in the wrong direction when canceling from back heavy sometimes. I've had that bug a few times. Caitlyn will no longer perform advancing roll, Caitlyn will now perform advancing roll in the correct direction if the opponent passes overhead at the same time. Caitlyn can no longer trigger multiple headshots when performing Piltover Peacemaker S1 super passing through that super. So they took away the double damage bug that she was doing with her double super. Fixed a bug where Caitlyn would not perform a follow-up shot when performing rifle shot S2 into advanced roll. Wait, what? S2 into advancing roll steady shot when handshake tag at a specific timing. I didn't know that was a bug. I didn't know that was a thing. Caitlyn's tactical dive now has a consistent hit stun against grounded opponents. Okay. Caitlyn can now cancel tactical dive into airborne bola when hitting during late active frames. Okay, so sometimes you just wouldn't be able to get your air bola out. Yeah, sometimes that would happen. Yeah. Enticing trap no longer triggers when champs are projectile invul. Ooh, that's kind of nice. When Yasuo or another character would like pass through it, they would just like pass through the trap, and it would trigger the trap. The trap would go away. They would go through it. Now it stays. So that's really, really nice. It's actually another buff, just like the other change with her trap where it would trigger if the opponent was knocked down. Now and they changed it so that it no longer triggers. Now you can get a meaty trap. This is also very similar with that. So now just going projectile, I mean, through it doesn't trigger the trap, and that's really, really huge. This is huge. Huge, huge, huge. Because now they pass through it. Even if they pass through it and end up on the other side very slightly, and you block, and now they're pressing buttons on block and they get pushed back into the trap, or you push block them into the trap. That's really, really good for her. I'm very happy with that change. Fixed a rare bug with S1 Super where visuals would persist even when all 3 panels were used. Okay. Although it was incredibly thematic, allied Jinx chompers and monkeys will no longer destroy panels from the S2 Super. Removed a proximity block from target practice assist. Holding back near this attack will no longer root your champion in play. Oh, you get proximity blocking in this thing. Oh, that's interesting. Back assist meter gain on hit has been increased by 3. That's interesting. That's not a bug, is it? Bug fixes? Why is this put in bug fixes? Was it a bug that it didn't have that much? Okay. Caitlyn ultimate will no longer whiff on opponents performing low attacks next to Caitlyn. Now has a larger hitbox next to Caitlyn for 1 frame. Thank goodness. These are bug fixes for other champions that affect Caitlyn. Warwick will now properly track Caitlyn with infinite duress, S1 Super, while she performs air trap. Okay, so it's not going to be going under Caitlyn anymore. Got it. Darius, the boy, is he gonna get hit with a random nerf again? We don't know. We think Darius is in a good spot, but we'll continue to keep an eye on how he's performing. Down assist. Oh, his... Okay. Active frames have been increased from 1 to 2 to allow it to connect to the point champion hits at the same time as Noxian might assist. That's nice. Sometimes it will just go through an opponent. Okay, that's cool. Champions can no longer perform a Fury Break after dying from chip damage affected. Okay. Yeah, that's just a random bug. Okay, nice little quality of life change. Nothing to say more about Darius. Ekko! It did say nerf on the screen above, so let's see if he's lost his legs for sure this time. Okay. Oh, it's slightly longer notes. Not too long. Ekko is beginning to stabilize in the meta, but there are 2 remaining options we want to remove from his kit before we say we're feeling good about his power level. Removing 2 particularly strong power spikes Ekko has. Performing a replay after being hit by break and get up attack. Performing extremely long break safe combos while Integral Timeline Super is active. Okay, replay S2 can no longer be used during an opponent's break. Okay, so now you're not passing through it. Okay. Ekko had a significant power spike while in install, but no longer be able to react to a break with replay, and now has to preemptively replay in order to punish break. Yes, okay. So you're not getting it on reaction anymore. You have to get lucky or guess. Ekko install now ends when Ekko is hit by attacks, including break or get up attack. Wow. Huge nerf. Wow, that's a huge nerf. Ekko being able to replay after getting hit by a break or get up attack has made it difficult to reset to neutral after performing these attacks. This also impacts Ekko being hit by stray projectiles. No longer it makes the opponent guess between all air tech options and an air tech into rewind. Yeah. Wow. Big nerf. Ekko could no longer cancel into dashing by plinking light medium while rewinding into a volatile after image charge clone. This was incredibly powerful options that led many option selects unique to Ekko players starting to catch on to the power of this, so removing it before it becomes a big problem. Okay, I didn't even really know about this one, but I'm glad they're being preemptive. Mega Time Winder Super now causes a soft knockdown on ground hit when batted. Previously caused an OTG-able knockdown. So as soon as the opponent hits the floor, they're probably going to get back up again. So you will not be able to get OTG stuff off of it. I don't know how much this affects. Maybe like some Teemo routes with him or something like that. I'm not entirely sure. Hitting an opponent with batted Mega Time Winder S1 Super no longer counts as a hit from a super. With the new break rules, opponents can now break this hit. Wow. Cool. So let's break safe. Chrono Strike and time's up. Down is 2 plus down 2. That was a custom hurt box. That's the kick that hits him in the air, right? Okay, cool. Mega Time Winder Super no longer occasionally sends the opponent facing the wrong direction when battered. I'm pretty sure that wasn't a bug with Caitlyn when she shoots them with the bullet, then gets batted with the Time Winder. That's when Super Time Winder, and then they would just fly in the opposite direction. That was a funny bug. Fixed an issue where mid-air replay with an after image was not properly anti-aired by air vulnerable attacks. Okay, you can now 2H Ekko properly when he's using replay. Overall, I think good changes to Ekko. Big changes now that him getting like nicked just loses install. This probably will encourage challenging Ekko on install a lot more. Ekko's gonna have to be way more precise, and yeah, I kind of like it. So moving on to Illaoi. Even with erratic tentacles, Illaoi was still quite strong, removing her ability to charge down S1 on tag out. Thank goodness. No longer screen locking us. My gosh, that was annoying. And made some adequate adjustments to down back S1 so that it is no longer leads to unblockables. Down back S1 unblockables? That's the tentacle grabbing you, right? Okay. In return, we're fixing a quirk where tentacles will attempt to pick up knocked out invulnerable opponents. Okay. Illaoi tentacles no longer attempt to pick up. Okay. Nerfs, you'll no longer be able to grab opponents when performing while tagged out. Whoa! Illaoi down S2 auto fires on tag out. Down S2 into tag led to non-interactive game states. We're removing this play pattern so that she can be powerful up close but not full screen. Yep. Down S2. So now she's not holding it, which was very, very frustrating. Adjustments. Tentacle smash is no longer cancelable into prayers. Okay. Wow. This was not even really an adjustment. This is just a nerf. This is just straight nerf, and I'm happy with it because I don't play Illaoi. Bug fixes. Fix the bug where tentacle smash was not properly triggered. Fix the bug where Illaoi tentacles would not have a hitbox. I'm not too particular on the Illaoi bugs that were in the game, but I know that there was a lot of them, and I'm happy that there's some bug fixes. I really hope that these address the bug fixes that the Illaoi players were struggling with. A good buddy of mine, Danny, was very, very frustrated with these Illaoi bugs, so I'm really hoping that they take care of most of it. Known issues: Illaoi's tentacles can rarely be disabled if they are hit between specific frames during Wrath. It's an S2 Super. Okay. Jinx. Wow. Big adjustments. Wow. Big adjustments. Okay. Jinx is underperforming in the meta. No! This is already my most hated character to fight. Besides maybe Teemo. Jinx is underperforming in the meta. We're giving Jinx some buffs to her normals to help her better fight at the mid-range to improve her consistency. In addition, we've adjusted hitboxes on mid-air heavy and mid-air down heavy to allow her to combo airborne opponents easier. Okay, finally we gave Chomper some love by increasing its projectile durability while decreasing the launch height. So it's easier to convert if it attaches while the opponent is airborne. We've also fixed some damage scaling issues with her S1 Super, improving Jinx's overall damage. Okay, her jab is a frame faster. Cool, and it's now -1 on block. Scary. Reduced pushback on block for medium. Oh my gosh, so like maybe running medium, standing medium, heavy won't whiff anymore. Running medium pushback on hit has been reduced. Okay. Okay, cool. Running M into heavy often whiffed at the tip of running. Okay. Now significantly more consistent. Okay, that's a really nice change for the players. First hit block stun has been increased. It's now a true block string into the second hit. Okay, I know a Jinx player who was very frustrated about the fact that it was not a true block string. Mid-air M hit stun has been increased from 17 to 19 frames. Easier conversion. I feel like she was already getting these conversions very easily, but I guess, she can do it better. Heavy pushback on hit and block has been increased. This aligns with LMH with previous values when you perform her LMH string. Forward heavy push pushback has been increased. So she's probably safer on block now because you get pushed back more. I don't like that. Block stun has been increased and is now -9 on block. So it's just straight up safe. Jinx's overhead is often risky. You will want to encourage Jinx to space the move appropriately, and a well-spaced H will now be safe on block. I don't like that. Back heavy is now anti-air invulnerable on frame 4. I don't remember what frame it was before, but that sounds pretty nice. Mid-air heavy hitboxes expand to hit higher, and down heavy in the air will now expand to hit higher. So her dive kick, interesting. Buffs to chompers. Chompers will now explosion now. Yeah, leaves them less high, so she can convert better. Chompers projectile durability has increased, so it no longer loses to Teemo darts, Ekko time winder, and now will appropriately trade. Okay, interesting. A Chomper's explosion after the timer runs out no longer hits knockdown opponents. It rarely causes combos to drop, and no longer the case. Okay, so quality of life. Her throw now builds 30 meter. Is that a buff or a nerf? What did it build before? Jinx can now cancel back S1 into fish bones. Huh? Interesting. Okay. Giving her more options. Okay. Jinx can now cancel back S1 into standing S2, one holding backwards without a full meter zap. Okay. Performing an aerial twist no longer disables the flip reaction. Back S1 no longer disables H from comp. Okay. Okay, interesting. And then some bug fixes. Not really going to go into in depth with that. Now into Teemo. Now, did they say Teemo is getting nerfed or buffed at the top? They actually didn't say anything about Teemo. Can we nerf this character more, please? I don't want to see this character anymore. Teemo is in a good position right now. So we're getting minimal. He's getting minimal adjustments this patch. Blinding darts now hits lower. Better catch opponents next to Teemo, so it doesn't go over their heads. Yeah, fine. Bug fixes. Fix the bugs where slingshot behavior persisted when a mushroom was destroyed midair by opponent's projectile. Okay. Down S2, the grass will no longer be positioned in front of assists. Okay. Removed invulnerability frames from the startup of S1 Super. So maybe he gets hit out of it more consistently. I'm happy. Fixed the bug where Blinding Dart's ultimate did not break armor. Okay, just quality of life changes. Still going to be annoying as hell to deal with. All right, on to Vi. Exciting one. Vi is receiving 2 major adjustments in this patch to help remove some unintended power spikes. S1. The standing S1 Vault Breaker will now auto fire when you handshake tag while charging the move. Oh my goodness, this is huge. Wow, Illaoi Vi has been completely nerfed. Their tag out options, when you just did assist, hold S1 or down S2 for Illaoi, and then just charge your button, was just so incredibly oppressive and strong. Now it's completely gone. Insane. Wow. Good, because they removed it from Teemo, and from the other characters that can charge their projectiles. It needs to go from these characters as well. I'm really happy with that. You can no longer call assists after Blast Shield activates. This move was doing too much when assists were used to self-help convert. Now Vi will need to go right into the super. Okay. So now using assist to convert off of the counter. Okay, interesting. Active frames on Vault Breaker level 3 charges are reduced from 3 to 12. Okay. Charge Vault Breaker now auto fires on tag out. Yes, we just saw that. Vi regains collision after performing punch follow-up during. Okay. Regains collision. Interesting. Vi can no longer call assist during this. Yep, we just saw that. Added additional hurt box to Relentless Force S1 Super, so punishes no longer occasionally with. That's kind of nice. Reduced duration of denting blows and removed camera zoom when mashed. Denting blows now gets to the point faster. The damage and meter gain is unchanged. Okay, yeah, just making the combo shorter, or even on block and just shorter. Improved input latency when performing footwork. and M and okay. I still think they just need to make the buffer system a little bit better rather than like input latency. They just need to make the buffering a little bit better on everything in this game, but that's besides the point. When ending a combo, okay, yeah, these are the bug fixes we saw before. Warwick was getting buffs. I'm excited to see what these are all about. Not a lot of big changes for Warwick this patch. We're making one small adjustment to help players achieve bloodlust easier when performing a pulse combo, as we wait to see how the previous patch impacted Warwick's performance. So everyone's saying Warwick bottom 1. Staying right where he is. Mid-air S2 now sends opponents less far away from Warwick and builds slightly more bloodlust. Might improve different routes, but again, this was just during pulse. So like this is the one that was used during pulse, so that was like the main goal. Warwick no longer generates bloodlust from hitting tentacles, mushrooms, and chompers. I didn't know he did that. And now he can't do that. Very interesting. Some bug fixes. And Yasuo. One change. Last patch made a big impact on Yasuo. We're comfortable leaving his power where it is. And for now, as we analyze his spot in the meta, we have one bug fix for Yasuo that slightly lowers his damage in some situations, but we don't expect this change to change his win rate. S1 Super now properly starts damage scaling on the first hit. Raw S1 Super will do slightly less damage when used early in a combo. Raw S1 Super? That's his dash through one, right? How is it raw if it's used in a combo? How is it raw S1 Super if it's used in a combo? Does he have a stance version? I just don't play Yasuo enough. Quality of life updates, weekly and daily missions can now be progressed in a private lobby. That's really nice. That's actually a really nice change. Bug fixes. Missing VO for some champions while using tag launcher. Okay. Fix an issue where the mission, blah, blah, blah. Fix an issue post-match screen where the ranked animation would repeat. Fix an issue that prevented certain missions from appearing in the mission menu. Impacted navigating the missions panel. Fix a bug where perfect graphics sometimes persist between rounds. Fix a bug where launch cinematic ignored audio settings. Increase the overall volume of the game to be more in line with other games. Store and cosmetics Akali launch bundle. Yo, what is this skin? Hello? Ooh. Featuring Akali, Silver Fang Akali, plus more. Available for purchase limited time starting April 7th. And may be available to purchase through other means in later date. Spirit Blossom, really cool art. I'm excited for that. And Blood Moon, April 30th. So will not be coming out day 1. Little sad because I want it now, but I understand. Run it back bundles, so just more skins. And that is the end of the patch notes. I will say, overall, happy with a lot of the changes. However, there were 2 major things that they did not address, and I'm a little bit sad about it. One of the major things that I'm a little sad that they did not address is throws. Throws are still absolutely broken, and that sucks. I think the biggest change that needs to happen for throws is that throws need to have a bigger tech window. I think the power level of throws is fine, but the fact that they feel completely untechable and then they're as strong as they are, it's really frustrating. I think throw combos are super cool. The fact that you can get some of the most interesting combos off of throw, I think is super duper cool. But you shouldn't be dying off of an ability that's borderline unreactable. Dare I say unreactable. You kind of have to guess that throw is going to hit you, and it's really frustrating, especially with characters like Ekko, whose throw is a very similar animation to his jab, and Teemo, who has setups that you're just guessing 50-50 or whether it's a throw or not. So I wish that they would have addressed it. And the second major thing is ranked. The ranked point distribution on win and loss is atrocious, especially in high ranks. The fact that you can play against an opponent, lose 7 points, win the set, and only gain 6 points from beating that person is insane. You won a set and now you are negative from when you began. That feels horrible. That feels horrible. I am not a fan of this system, and most of the times it's even worse than that. There'll be times where you're just losing straight up 9, 11 points and gaining 3 or 4. It's ridiculous, and I really wish that it would have been adjusted this patch. But other than that, I'm really excited for Akali. I'm really excited for a lot of the changes that they've mentioned, especially the Caitlyn changes. I'm really excited for the fact that her combos are going to be a bit more consistent now. And yeah, overall, Bola is going to be a lot stronger. It can convert off of it a bit better. So yeah, let me know, did this take care of any of the gripes that you had with the current state of 2x KO? Did your character get buffed? Did your character get nerfed? Or are you disappointed with the current patch as it's coming? And are you excited for Akali that's coming tomorrow? Just let me know. If you guys enjoyed the video and you guys enjoyed me bringing this patch to you guys and giving my thoughts on it, just leave a like down below, and subscribe if you're interested in more 2xTL content. I will be putting out a Caitlyn guide very shortly, so look forward to that if you are a Caitlyn player. And yeah, you guys have a great day, and I'll see you guys around. Bye.